Hey everyone, my name is Wedge, and we're back with a special edition of Knowledge Pool. Normally we take time to research decks thoroughly and find the best list we can before teching them for you. This time's a little different. We've only had since yesterday afternoon to pick up this beast of a budget deck. Thanks to a Redditor, you're about to see the craziest $20 white-black deck ever. The link to the article will be in the description below. Just know, this deck is destroying Magic Online events. Consistently. As always, we start with the land base. For Orzhov Guildgate, join 11 swamps and 9 plains to make up the mana spread. Remember, this is budget and only at $20, so Temple of Silence can just get out of here. But needless to say, if you have the money, Temple of Silence and Godless Shrine make nice upgrades here. On to creatures. Man, okay, this is going to be fun. The deck runs a playset of Festering Newt and Bogbrew Witch. Yeah, I know, just stick with me, okay? Festering Newt is a 1-drop removal spell if it dies. Giving a creature -1/-1 can be relevant, but if you have the Bogbrew Witch in play, -4/-4 is going to kill a lot. Bogbrew Witch is a 4-mana 1/3 that searches your library for Festering Newt or Bubbling Cauldron and puts it on the battlefield tapped. The last piece of this pie of hilarity is the aforementioned Bubbling Cauldron. This is a 2-mana artifact that can sacrifice you a creature to gain some life, or you can sacrifice a Festering Newt to nuke each of your opponents for 4 life, which in turn triggers the Newt's ability, giving either -1/-1 or -4/-4 to something. Normally I'd continue talking about the creatures in this deck, but we're going to change it up this once, because if I told you what else was in this without explaining what spells are here, you'd probably stop watching. There are 4 different non-creature spells in the deck. We start with a full playset of Gift of Immortality. For 3 mana, you get an enchant creature aura that states, when an enchanted creature dies, return that creature to the battlefield under its owner's control. Then you return Gift to the battlefield attached to that same creature at the beginning of the next end step. In other words, creature dies, comes back, Gift comes back if you don't kill the creature again before the next end step. Next we have 4 Orzhov Charm. For 2 mana at instant speed, you can either return a creature and all auras attached to it to its owner's hand, destroy a creature and lose life equal to its toughness, or return target creature card with converted mana cost 1 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. On the surface, this is just a great way to bring back your Newt after you sacrifice it. But just you wait. Just you wait. Moving right along, we have 3 Pharika's Cure and 3 Grim Return. The cures are used more often than not to attack your own creatures rather than your opponent's. Grim Return is just another way to bring back the Newt or any of the other annoying critters I'm going to tell you about. There are 4 other creatures in the deck. For some early game presence, we have a playset of Drainpipe Vermin, because why not? Rats are cool. So cool in fact that there are also a pair of Ogre Slumlord. Yeah, I know, crazy. We also have a playset of High Priest of Penance. For 2 mana, whenever this 1/1 is dealt damage, you may destroy target non-land permanent. The last creatures in the deck are a pair of Cartel Aristocrat. Sacrifice outlets are cool in this deck. Let's talk synergy. Now that you have the list of everything in the deck, let me paint a glorious picture for you. You have your Newt in play, stall until mid-game to get your Bogbrew Witch out and fetch your Cauldron. Play Gift of Immortality on your Newt and sacrifice to your heart's content. Granted, it can only be once per turn, but just in case something terrible happens, you have Grim Return to bring anything back that you accidentally threw under the bus. Don't have your Cauldron out yet? That's fine. Just sack to your Cartel Aristocrat to kill their Stormbreath Dragon. Who cares? You're playing Festering Newt. In case your opponents, plays spells, High Priest of Penance is just waiting there, ready to be gifted with Immortality and Pharika's Cured whenever you want to vindicate a non-land permanent. Yeah, removal. On your own stuff. I know, it's awesome. Alternate win condition. Get any of your sacrifice outlets going, play Ogre Slumlord, mass rats, and recreate the Black Plague. With Drainpipe Vermin and the abusable trigger from Ogre Slumlord, rats with Death Touch will pile up fast. You know what races rats with Death Touch? Nothing! They have Death Touch! If all this stuff wasn't hilarious enough on its own, you still have Orzhov Charm. If you put Gift on something but you want to move it, return it to your hand. No problem. If you need to give something -4/-4 but don't have a sack outlet for your Newt, kill it with Orzhov Charm and lose 1 life. If you need to reanimate your Newt because he didn't have Gift yet, Orzhov Charm is there yet again. This card is the do-it-all for this deck. Let's take a look at the sideboard, where there are some real cards that normal people use. We have 3 Glare of Heresy to start, for the mirror. Also Elspeth, but totally for the mirror. 3 Celestial Flare help you stave the onslaught of early aggressive decks. This is important since you're basically a combo deck that needs a decent amount of setup time. A playset of Duress helps clear the way for you to lay down your Newt and get your Witch online. 1 Elixir of Immortality is here in case everything goes terribly, terribly wrong. The sideboard is finished with a playset of God's Willing. This makes perfect sense as you need to keep your Witches and Newts alive. I know what you're thinking. This strategy seems shaky, outrageously unreliable, you might say. Try it. The value you get out of each of these cards is insane. The early game is a bit slow, but once you get the hang of it and understand how to use the pieces right, you have a deck with nearly infinite removal in whatever form you want. You can repeatedly Lash of the Whip or vindicate your way to victory. It's important to remember that a deck like this is a combo deck. Just because you get some lands in your opening hand doesn't mean you want to keep it every time. You need at least a couple pieces for this to come together, especially against aggro decks. You can't sit there doing nothing for 4 turns. What makes this deck competitively viable is the gross amount of value in each card and each interaction. Since being posted on Reddit, this deck has taken to Magic Online, crushing event after event. The element of surprise is a powerful thing, and this deck has it in spades. What's nice about playing something like this is that every choice you make really matters. You decide which of your combos you'll try to construct. You choose whether to use your Orzhov Charm or Pharika's Cure to kill your own creatures. This deck is all about choice. The fact that it's a combo deck brings another nice thing about it. You get to play the deck roughly the same way in any matchup. Obviously, there are sideboarding considerations to make, and you want to have Duress before you try to go off against control and all that stuff. But in the end, you're trying to assemble an engine. If that doesn't work, kill him with Wraths. I mean, come on, how fun does this deck sound? All credit for this amazing deck goes to SlairStyle from the Reddit MTG community. The link to the article will be down below. We just needed to share this deck with you guys. It's a work of art. The man's a genius. We hope you enjoyed it. If any of you decide to build this deck or already have, let us know in the comments how you did. I'm really curious to see this thing in action. As always, subscribe below for the latest and most reliable Magic the Gathering information you could ever need. This is the Mana Source. I'm Wedge. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.